going to learn a little more about HIV/AIDS prevention, but we're also going to learn about overcoming adversity and being able to live with HIV and AIDS and be able to still thrive. So I would like for you all to put your hands together for our special guests, Mr. and Mrs. Robert and Jerilyn L. Put your hands together. So, we'd like to first of all, thank you guys again for being a part of this Tallahassee AIDS Walk, and thank you for being brave enough to tell your story. This will be my third time sitting down with you guys, but I wanted to make sure that everybody understands what it is to overcome adversity and be able to grow together. Because we're in a society now, nowadays at times, a lot of people are not growing together. And so that's one of the main things that we're going to learn from you guys is how to grow together. So once again, thank you for being here. So before we get deep into this, could you guys give us some background information about yourselves, who you are, and how did you meet, and how did you get married?
Well, good evening, everyone. We are Robert and Jerilyn Ward, as Joe has said. We've been married as of July 30, 2021 for 30 years.
Amen.
We have been living with HIV/AIDS for 21 years. We have 3 children. We met in church. My husband was the driver and setuper, everything, and my family had just joined the church. And we began spending time together, doing things in the church that we were in, running errands, and love sprung forth. And here we are 30 years later.
That's amazing. That's amazing. All right, so you guys met. So at what point did you say, okay, I like her, I like him, I think I want to spend the rest of my life with you? So around the time, when did you get married?
I moved back to Daytona Beach in 1989. We were here in 19 anymore, but it's 1989. And after my mom had passed.
Right.
And I moved back to Daytona Beach after attending Pittman College.
Okay. We're gonna
You got one right now.
We're gonna let you get away with that because we like y'all.
Just one. Two in the house, that's it.
And I actually had a friend of mine who invited me to church, and I took his children. He had a little bit of children at that time. I took him back to the children's church. I saw this little girl working with the children, and I asked him later on that night who she was. He told me, and it was around a year later we met. Yeah, it didn't take long. It didn't take long. Because I thought God fooled me because we were talking for about maybe a month, and then she left from Daytona Beach to go to Orlando.
Right.
And it just crushed me. But she kept writing me, and then she came back over with 3 months of that time we were married.
Okay, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Okay, so for better or worse is a dramatic testimony of staying married despite having HIV and AIDS. Is the title of your book. Can you tell us about the story behind the book and how HIV and AIDS impacted your lives?
Okay, so the story behind the book. I believe everybody should be a writer of some sort. I don't know if any of you journal or if you are learning to journal, but writing is so therapeutic. So that's how we got started with the book, of writing it. But as you said, the title is For Better or For Worst. And the reason why we chose the title of For Worst, because having HIV/AIDS for us at the time was the worst thing that could happen inside of a marriage. And so that's where the initial thing started, of getting the title. And then to begin to write our story. And And the story goes all the way back, like my husband said, we're not even in 19 anymore. So it was back in 19 something where we got the information and the encouragement to begin writing about our story. Because sometimes when our stories are so painful, things have to be unraveled slowly. And it took us about 7 years to fully write this book, to talk the story, because we were still living it. So that's how the story got started. And then the reason that we wanted to go ahead and do it is because on the other side of us writing our story is someone else's life being blessed, where maybe their story's not exactly the same as ours, but some part of our story will be a blessing to them, to help them come out. Because sometimes when you're in your darkest hour, you really can't see out of it. And sometimes you don't see where somebody who is telling you about it that is not going through the same thing that you're going, that they don't understand. And so to hear the story from somebody who's walking through it will help that person to be able to find a way to find life, to live, to decide to live. So writing this story was our way of deciding to live and to be a blessing to other people and to have our story in the raw. I mean, there's nothing hidden. We've written the book so that everything that we walk through, somebody else can pick something out to be blessed by.
Right, okay, thank you. So, there are a lot of lessons within the book that people can learn. What would you say is some of the greatest lessons readers can learn from your book?
Don't keep secrets.
Why would you say that?
Because it was the secrets that I kept that caused me to get into relationships that I wasn't supposed to be in. I was molested at age 8. My dad and his twin brother were contractors. And we used to go every summer to New Jersey, Georgia, Virginia for harvest time.
Yes.
And there were kids there. Everybody had kids. We were talking about over 300 people. And I was molested by this teenage young man in the outhouse. At that time, we didn't have in home.
Right.
And but nobody knew about it. And I was also molested by this teenage girl once we moved back to South Florida. Mm-hmm. So you start seeing all these things that are happening to you, and you don't talk to anybody. My dad was a preacher.
Right.
Y'all know preachers don't listen. And growing up with an evangelist, it took everything. It wasn't for my mother, I probably couldn't get free.
Right.
And so with everything that was happening, coming together really taught us some stuff about not keeping secrets. Our children were young at the time, so we made sure every year we explained to them what was going on with mom and daddy until they got to the age where, because we had many people who wanted us to talk.
Right.
But I said our kids weren't ready. And so then we had to talk to them every year until they got of age. We would say, okay, we're writing this book, and people are going to want to hear the story. Are you all okay? And as soon as they gave us the go ahead, we went ahead. Okay.
And to stress more what he was saying about secrets, let's just dig a little bit deeper. In our families, we have things that happen. And if we don't reveal those things, healing can't happen. So if you are molested, if you are raped by a family member or somebody that's supposed to be a family member, uncle that's not an uncle, grandma that's not a grandma, friend of the family that's not a friend of the family, those are not things that you should keep, because what happens is when you keep those things quiet, they fester and cause other things to happen in you, and they cause you to be broke down. And so what we have to do is find somebody that we can talk to. Right now we're talking about mental health. It would be wise to talk to a counselor, to somebody that can help you walk through that. But understand that you have to find a safe place to unpack those things, because then you have challenges that happen in your life. So now we're dealing with HIV/AIDS in our life because things were kept covered and not exposed. So I would say that's the biggest thing that we've learned through this, and that's why we made sure that our children knew what was going on, and we talked to them and wait till they were ready, because this also, HIV/AIDS has stigma to it, has shame to it, and people don't want to interact. I mean, if you want to know the truth, they treat you as if you're a leper. I mean, I don't know if you all know what a leper is, but somebody that has leprosy, you know, they keep you at arm's distance. So the takeaway for us is don't have secrets. Expose those things. Get help where you can get help, and then begin to get healed yourself and share, like we're doing. Share the testimony. Every time you share it, more healing comes. Every time we share this, healing comes to us, and more stability comes to us as we share.
Yes.
All right. So you two have faced so much diversity within your relationship, and you found a way to persevere. So can you please tell us how you continue to keep your relationship?
We continue to talk. Prayer is one of our biggest things. We are pastors, and to be able to understand that, we have to talk about these things. I have been in and out of the hospital for the past 18 years, from PCP pneumonia to having both my hips replaced to having an ankle replacement, eyes done, my teeth done, because there are things that go on in your life where you don't even feel like a man anymore.
Right.
And if it wasn't for my wife staying with me, and she choosing to stay with me, I don't know if I would be alive today.
So some of our biggest adversities that I could say are our income being affected, because once my husband's body began to shift and change, so now he can't provide for the family like he wanted to. So we've faced the adversity of being in lack in a lot of places. And again, like I talked about earlier, the stigma, that's an adversity that you face, the shame of people knowing. It was really challenging to share it with our family, because the first response of family was anger, you know, and more anger with my husband because it had come through him. And so that's an adversity that we faced, of trying to keep family relationships. And then even in church, I mean, we faced adversity in church. There have been numerous adversities in our life, that, you know, family relations, all in different ways throughout the years that we faced.
And we did not want other people to experience what we experienced.
Right.
So we tell them, no matter what people may say, what they may do, you tell the truth. Okay, you be who you are, and everything that, because we have to, even though we're pastors, we have to be relatable and touchable, and that's just like we have to touch everybody else. I don't have a hell or a heaven to put you in,
Right.
but I can listen.
Right.
I give you a good listening ear and help you to talk through things. What's the problem? The biggest adversity, one of the biggest adversities, is people do not listen.
Okay.
And one of the things that we did do that has helped us keep our relationship together is we treated divorce like a cuss word, like a 4-letter word.
Okay.
We decided that we weren't going to use that, because some couples, they throw that back and forth at each other. And so we determined that in our relationship, that's a cuss word. We're not going to say that, we're going to work through that. Now, we didn't understand with us deciding that what was going to happen behind that, but once we said it, then we had a point to move back from. And then other principles that we decided that we were going to be committed. I mean, because in a relationship, you're not going to always feel love. You know, in the middle of all these health challenges, I wasn't feeling no love. I was feeling, okay, I got a lot of work to do. We got 3 children, you know, back and forth to the hospital. But what we decided to stay committed. Those are one of the principles two of the principles that we stood on for our marriage.
Okay, now that's wonderful, because both of you had principles to stand on. You had a common goal to work toward as a couple, and you wasn't going to allow anything to knock you off your square or take you away from achieving your goal as a couple. Now, once again, we don't really see that a lot these days, so that's why I do thank you all for telling your story, because we need to see more positives in relationships, and we need to see more people working through things rather than I have an issue and it's over. So unfortunately, that's our generation. So you talked about telling the truth. You talked about talking to each other. If you have a young couple or a young individual, male or female, and they're just looking to move forward in life, looking for love in life, or maybe dealing with HIV/AIDS, what advice would you give them to be able to persevere through any adversity that they may be dealing with, or they're trying to get into relationships? And what advice would you give the couple or the individuals to help them move forward?
One thing, you have to be honest, and you have to talk. talking, communication is the key. And as a matter of fact, we just had our youngest daughter. She just got married in July. Congratulations! And he took her all the way to Seattle, Washington. I ain't happy about that, but it's all good. It's good. And but she's doing good, and the things that she's learned from us, we see her applying it to her own marriage. And that's the biggest thing is to be. I have learned as a father to be open to my children and to listen to what they have to say, even if it's going to hurt my feelings. Right. And you got to do the same thing with young couples, because you have to listen and see where they're coming from, but you have to also find out, well, what's your background? Okay? Who's your mother? Who's your father? What kind of relationship you had with them? Because it does play a part. It plays a big part. So as you start talking to couples, we have talked to so many couples over the years, and it's incredible that all they want to do is have somebody who will listen and tell them the truth. That's it. Right.
And I would say this, that if you are somebody who is living with HIV/AIDS, decide that you want to live. If you decide, if you draw the line, make a line of demarcation that you want to live. And I don't care what it is that you put in front of you. It can be simple as, walking your dog every day, but put something in front of you to decide to live. And if you're a couple, decide what your life is going to look like together. What are you going to do together? Because when you put your collective energy together to move forward on something, no matter what the diagnosis is in your body, I mean, people got diabetes, people got high blood pressure, people got everything, all these maintainable diseases, because now they're considering HIV maintainable. So what you have to do is decide to live. Yes. And if you decide to live, then do the things that are necessary to when you decide to live. So you have this condition in your body, take the medication that's necessary to take care of that. Okay, whatever it is that you need to do, take a test, find out if you do have it so you can maintain, so that your life is not being subpar when there's so many things available. I'm looking at all these tables. I went to every one. There's so many things available that were not available for us 20 years ago. I mean, it's so easy. You can walk up and pick it up like candy here, all the things. So decide to live, take advantage of all the things that are available for you so that you can live, get collective energy if you're married to move forward in your life. Don't let the thing of being shamed and outcast keep you from moving forward, because there are a lot of things that can bring shame to people. Decide to live. That would be my thing to say to you.
Decide to live. That's powerful. That's powerful. Yeah. So definitely like to thank you all for coming out and giving your time and telling your story once again. If you would like to hear more from Mr. and Mrs. Ward, we did interview them on our Neighborhood Medical Center has a podcast, Right Body and Soul. Look, all right, look. Hold on, let me do a couple things. First of all, let me bring it back. So, Mr. and Mrs. Ward, they have a book, For Better or For Worse. Right? A couple copies right here on this table.
10 copies.
Make sure y'all, everybody, I need everybody before y'all leave, stop by this table, say something, do something, high fives or something. Stop by this table, right?
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
And like I say, you can catch their interview on our Neighborhood Medical Center YouTube channel. So pull your phones out, right? I need people to pull your phones out
Hold your
right
mic
now.
up, Joe. Hold your mic up. They gotta hear.
Pull your phones out right now and go to YouTube. Go to the Neighborhood Medical Center and hit that subscribe button and that notification bell.
And what that mean when they do that?
That means every time we drop a video, like every Wednesday or every other Wednesday, whichever Wednesday we come out on, you'll be able to get the podcast. You can also follow us on Instagram.
All right.
Neighborhood Medical Center on Instagram or Neighborhood Heroes 850. We're also on Facebook, Neighborhood Medical Center, like that. Big Ben Cares. Vanity.
Come here.
Donnell, Dr. Tissy, y'all come here. Tell them about your social media and how they can get in contact and follow Big Ben Cares.
Hey guys, how y'all feeling?
Great.
How y'all feeling?
Woo!
All right, community, listen up. So Big Ben Cares. We have an Instagram, Big Ben Cares. We have a Twitter, Big Ben Cares. We have a Facebook, Big Ben Cares. So So I want you guys to follow us, okay? So we're doing a lot of great things. Also, CarePoint Wellness also is our sister organization. So get connected, get plugged in. Thank you.
All right, just to make sure, you said Big Ben Cares, right?
I said big.
Our Facebook is BondCHC Tally, and our Instagram and Twitter is Bond_CHC.
Hold on, say that one more time. Say that one more time.
Bond_CHC is for our Instagram and Twitter, and Facebook is BondCHC Tally.
All right. I don't know what's that. That's just my voice. So, but once again, I want to thank Mr. Robert and Miss Jerilyn L for being our guests. Thank you. Y'all stop by this table. Maybe I got the microphone.